What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Do me a favor, take a moment, hit the like button, subscribe button, criticism in the comment section, Twitter, Shutdown Safety is my username. You know, I let this one sit for a few days. I wanted to see if anybody would come out and say it. They didn't, so guess what? It's time. And I'll just preface this whole thing by saying none of this is personal. It's strictly business. Imackulate Vision Gaming, to me, did an exceptional job of establishing themselves in the community via social media, creating a presence for themselves. Obviously, I've talked about them several times on my channel. I've talked with them multiple times. Great individuals, well-spoken, motivated, driven, and want to create an NCAA game. But right now, it looks like things aren't going to continue through the way they expected them. You know, the Kickstarter, absolutely the most successful Kickstarter in the sim football community that we've had. A Gridiron Game Pack, Michael Mendheim Mutant Football League, the Axis Football Kickstarter. None of them got the financial backing this did. Just over $10,000, just under 150 people, but they were asking for $850,000 and 7 or 8 days to go. Unless there's a major investor that comes in, that's not going to complete itself. The problem I have is what we're learning now. And for those people, and I fully anticipate it, that will sit here and tell me, oh, I told you this was going to happen. Oh, I told you not to believe these people. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, the stance I have and always will have is I am not a Madden channel. I'm not a Madden commentator. I'm a sim football channel. I'm a sim football commentator. And anyone that wants to come to me and express a desire to create a game and have tangible visuals of that game, I'll be more than glad to have you on and we'll discuss it. The problem I have here, though, is with the letter they've released, and I'll put the link down in the description, some of this really rubs me the wrong way, because if we're going to hold it to EA, then we need to hold it to everyone. Now, the letter states that they are going to be changing some things in the development of this game. And part of it is they'll continue to outsource development in hopes of creating new assets like player models, gameplay, and trailers to give the visual of the vision they have for the game to show to investors, capitalists, colleges, universities, and the community. They mention that it is expensive to create those assets and there's no timetable on when they'll be released. The problem I have with that is it's a fallacy. And it's unfair to anyone else in this market or community to be presented with that information. Everyone in this community, from Madden on down, wants their game to look better. No one in this community has the right, in my opinion, to create CGI trailers and then portray that as the vision they want their game to be, because there's a substantial difference between what you envision something to be and what you actually are able to create. In Madden 2006, EA created a CGI trailer to sell its next-gen product. We all know throughout 2 consoles, it actually hasn't lived up to the standard that trailer created just about 10 years ago. So for someone to come in and acclaim themselves as members of the community and turn around and do something just as deceitful as the largest player in this community did, to me, that's a problem. Not only in that they've done it, but the fact that no one else in my visual, realm that I've looked at in the community has stepped up to say something about it. They also mentioned that they're going to continue a Kickstarter in the future, but before they do that, they want to reach a larger audience, they want to have more assets on hand and show the community before they ask for money again. And I think that goes back to my prior point. If you're going to continue to create these things and say, this is visually what I want the game to be, it's unfair to people currently developing games. Because you're setting a standard that you haven't met, that's just a projection of what you expect something to be, but you have no real way of creating that product. Now, the final issue I have is the way they've now changed their stance in terms of developing and publishing. Now, they are simply looking to assume the responsibility of publishing and producing the game, and their goal is to find a suitable and established video game company to work with on the development side so that they can act as the producers and publishers of the game and allow the development to be handled by the pre-established company. That's a great concept. I mean, in theory, any one of us in the community could sit down with $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, get some things created, and say, this is the visual of what my game to be. This is what I want it to look like. This is what I expect the final product to be. I'm going to sit back and wait for a gaming company to come to me and say, okay, we're ready to try to make your vision. In short, every video I do is that concept. Every video I make on my channel in terms of Sim Football Breakdowns is showing you what's wrong with the game and letting you know what I expect to see better. With, you know, over 2 million views, however many videos, no company has ever came to me and said, okay, we're ready to create your game. Here's a contract to sign. We'll give you some money. You sit back and relax and we'll build the perfect game for you. I've seen people come in and try to create that game. A majority of those companies have actually came to me and had me work with them. So to sit there and assume that you can show things that aren't tangible to your product and then wait back and hope that a gaming company comes to fulfill the dream that you've sold to people as what you're making, to me, that's a real problem. That's just how I feel about it. And again, it's nothing personal against these guys. I'm looking at this as a business standpoint because I see the damage this does to the current developers that are working, that now have to sit there and look at this movie that was created and have that held against their product when that movie wasn't even actual gameplay or anything that's created. It was nothing more than a visual of what they expected the product to be. And like I said, the fact is, EA made a movie of what they expected their product to be. They couldn't deliver it. So the fact that other people are coming to the community and doing that same thing, whether they're the best people in the world or not, deserves to be spoken about. Appreciate you checking this video out. I'll be back in the week with more commentary.